H2KInfosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2KInfosys supports 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus. One-time pay, lifetime access to live classes and videos. H2KInfosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For free demo class, visit h2kinfosys.com.
Hi, this is Kaushik again. So we are going to see the usage of Log4j API in Selenium. Now, certain times it is required that when we run the Selenium WebDriver scripts during a batch run, uh, we need to understand which part of the test suite has failed. And it is very difficult to do a manual intervention and find out that which line of the script has failed, or which test case has failed, or which line of the test case has failed. Manually doing it is basically a pain in the neck. So instead of that, we use a third-party framework known as Log4j, which gets integrated with your Selenium WebDriver scripts in order to give you logging information. So today we will see the usage of Log4j API in a Selenium WebDriver script. So before that, we're going to go understand what is this Log4j API all about. Now, if you look at it, Log4j is basically a reliable, fast, and flexible login framework written in Java. And this particular framework was actually used in one of the European projects. And since the logging information given by these particular frameworks was a huge hit, it was ported, the Log4j framework was ported to different languages like your C or C++, Perl, Python, Ruby, etc. It's definitely a third-party API, as I have told you, and the purpose of this particular API is to create logging information at runtime. So it basically creates the login information when you run the particular script. So during the running of the script, it gives you login informations. I'll basically tell you information about a failure of a particular test script, or a failure of a particular code of a Java file, which actually becomes very difficult to find out during a manual intervention than using a Log4j API. Now, as far as Log4j is concerned, it has three main components. The first component is the logger. So logger basically is an inbuilt class of your Log4j API, and the loggers class is basically used for capturing the logging information during the runtime period. The next component, which is important as far as Log4j API is concerned, is the appenders. The appenders are basically is an interface by itself and is responsible for publishing login information in different destinations or in preferred destinations. The destinations can be your a particular folder, or destination can be in a particular path. The appenders also helps out, apart from logging information in various destinations, it also helps out in creating log files in the text format, creating log files in Unix syslogs, or creating log files in your HTML format, etc. Apart from that, appenders would also help out in creating the pattern in which the login information needs to be designed. So it gives out a pattern layout for designing the log information to a preferred destination. And you can also define the pattern layout. So pattern layout is one of the inbuilt classes of your appenders interface, which is defined as the third component responsible for formatting the login information in different styles, which I have given out here. Further analysis of the Log4j tells us that it's going to create login information with information such as the time of execution, or the date of execution, or the minute, seconds of the execution of a particular line of the script or line of a Java code. And this kind of login information actually helps us in what? It basically helps out in handling untowards if you find out that a particular suite has failed, a test suite has failed. So that is why this kind of log information helps out to understand the root cause of failure or a success of a test script or a development code. Now, how would I basically say that a log4j API is different from system.out.println? Now, the system.out.println or SOPL in short form is basically used to log information in the console. So whatever results you want to get in the console, you have to use the println command called system.out.println. The difference is that once you close the console, the information gets lost, which is thrown out by SOPL. But if you are using a log4j API, okay, the information does not get lost if you are closing the logging information. It remains unlike your SOPL. Okay. Now, as far as log4j is concerned, it has 7 different logging levels, and these logging levels are in the descending order like this: all, traces, debug, info, warn, error, fatal. Fatal is the lowest level, where all is the highest level. Now, if I define a logging level as all, I can use traces, debug, info, warn, error, and fatal. Similarly, if I define the logging level in log4j as info, I can use info, warn, error, fatal as the logging levels. So it depends on the fact that what logging level you are using. So if you are using the highest logging level, you can use the other logging levels which are below it. So if you are using the fatal logging level, you cannot use the logging levels above it. So it's something like that. So that is what has been given out here. And for creating your logs, we need a log4j.properties file or a log4j.xml file. So this properties file or the XML file will contain configurations to configure your login information or to give our logging information. As far as Selenium is concerned, we can create login information for the purpose of seeing that each step of the code or each step of the transaction defined by Selenium WebDriver script is working fine or not. So in the other way, it basically helps us to understand that the root cause of a failure of a particular Selenium script has happened or not, or if it has happened, in which line it has happened, what are the date, time, minute, second, hour in which the particular code of your Selenium WebDriver script has failed. So that is what is all about log4j. Now, to give you a simple understanding of log4j, I'll create a simple script of Selenium and use the log4j concept inside it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a project called as log4j concept. Click on next, and I'm going to use the Selenium WebDriver script to use the log4j API. So I'm going to go to libraries and pull in the jar files of Selenium WebDriver API. Click on select all, click on finish. Say no to the perspective. Now after we have pulled in the Selenium WebDriver API, we also need the jar file of the log4j API. So until unless we also pull in the log4j jar file inside this particular project known as log4j concept, we will not be able to use the log4j API for our Selenium WebDriver script. So what we need to do is go to Google, and just we need to write down download log4j. Jar. Okay. We can download the zip file out here. And we can open the zip file and check out what is present inside it, the log4j jar. So probably we'll go to a different log4j version. uh, you can go to download log4j out here. One 1.2.7. It's from log4j is from Apache. So best site is to go to Apache site and uh, go to this particular mirror and download the log4j 1.2.17, and hopefully from this particular mirror site we were able to download the zip folder. So we're going to show it in the folder. This is the log4j. Okay, there is a jar file known as log4j 1.2.17. So it's better to download the log4j from the Apache side because log4j belongs to Apache. Okay, so what we can do is uh, I already have it, so I'll go to this particular project that I've created, right click, go to properties, and go to the libraries and add the log4j jar file. I already have it in my jar and wars folder. So the same version 1.2.17, I'm going to click out here. This is the jar file that I'm going to put to my project and connect my project with the particular log4j 1.2.17 jar file. Done. And then what I need to do is that I'll create a particular package. The package will be called as, let's say, login framework as the package name. And inside this particular package, I'm going to create a class file called as, let's say Gmail login. Call up the main method. Okay. First of all, let me create the WebDriver script, Selenium WebDriver script. So I'm going to create a static WebDriver instance. This has to be a global variable, not a local variable. So I'll cut over from here and paste it inside the class file. Why I'm creating a static WebDriver reference? Because main method is static into nature. Import the WebDriver instance, and then I can use driver is equal to new Firefox driver, which will open up the Firefox browser and control it. So import this particular class file. So this is going to open the Firefox browser. So at my end also I'll open the Firefox browser so that I can create the steps Selenium WebDriver script for logging inside a Gmail application. And I'm going to navigate to this particular navigate to Gmail app. So I'm going to write down driver dot get. I'm going to put the URL https://www dot accounts that google.com. After navigation, I'm going to type the username. So for typing, I need the XPath of the username. So I'll go to accounts.google.com. So I'm going to get out of this. So I'm going to get the XPath of the username. I'm using the Firebug firepath add-on to get the XPath. This is the XPath of the username. Copy, and I'm going to write down driver.findElement using the by class method called as XPath, and this is the XPath that I've copied that I'm going to paste out here. Dot. Now what is the username that I'm going to put inside the send keys method? So Kaushik qtp@zarantec.com. Done. After that, I'm going to click on the next button. So driver.findElement, the by class XPath method, and the XPath of the next button has to be taken into